بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Math grade 9 Algebra 1. We are in Model 6, Lesson 4, Solving Absolute Value Inequalities. Solving Absolute Value Inequalities. The first idea in this lesson, we want to learn solving inequalities involving less than an absolute value. For a real number A, the inequality absolute value of x less than A means that the distance between x and 0 is less than A, So the meaning of absolute value x less than A means the distance between x and 0, the distance between x and 0 will be what? Will be less than A. When solving absolute value inequalities, there are two cases to consider. The first case, the expression inside the absolute value sample is non-negative. Non-negative means 0 or positive. So, if x is non-negative, then the absolute value of x will be what? Will be x, will be positive. The second case, the expression inside the absolute value symbol is negative. Means, if x is negative, then the absolute value will be what? Will be negative x. So, if x positive, the absolute value of x will be x, and if x negative, the absolute value here will be what? Minus x. Okay? Example. Solve absolute value inequalities using less than, using this sign. For example, solve absolute value of m plus 5 less than 3. Then graph the solution set. And as you see here, we have two cases. Rewrite the absolute value of m plus 5 less than 3 for case 1 and for case 2. Case 1, if m plus 5 is non-negative, what the meaning of non-negative means? 0 or positive. So the absolute value of m plus 5 will be what? M plus 5, the same. So we can write m plus 5 less than 3. Then we can solve this inequality. We can subtract 5 from the two sides. We will get here m less than negative 2. Then the second case, if we have m plus 5 is negative, means the absolute value of m plus 5 will be minus m plus 5. So we can write here minus m plus 5 less than 3, then we can distribute the negative inside the parentheses. Minus times m will be minus m, and minus times 5 will be minus 5. Then we can solve this inequality. We can add 5 to the two sides. We will get minus m less than 8. Then we can divide the two sides by negative and switch the sign. So it will be m greater than minus 8. So as you see now, we have two solutions, m less than negative 2 and m greater than negative 8. So m less than negative 2 and m greater than negative 8, the solution set is m such as m between two values, negative 2 and negative 8. Then we can graph. We can represent negative 8 and negative 2 and use open circle because we don't have equals in the sign. And this is the area of solutions. Okay? The second example. The example now we have absolute value of 6m plus 12, absolute value of 6m plus 12 less than 12. So when you see this inequality, include absolute value, and we have this sign, always remember we have two cases. We have two cases. The first case, if the value here non-negative, so means write the same value, 6m plus 12, less than 12. Then solve it. How to solve it? How to solve this inequality? You can subtract 12 from the two sides. It means here 6m less than 0. And we can divide here by 6 and here by 6. It means m less than 0. Then the second case, if the value here will be negative. Will be negative means multiply this value by negative. Distribute, minus times 6m will be minus 6m. Minus times 12 will be minus 12. Less than 12. To solve this inequality, we can add the inverse of 12 here, plus 12 here, plus 12 here. لأنه قلنا إنه في عندي حالتين، بس شوف أنا inequality فيها absolute value، معناتها شو عندي two cases، في عندي حالتين. الحالة الأولى شو إنه non negative، تحط نفس القيمة وبنحل الانيكواليتي. الحالة الثانية إنه شو تكون نيجاتيف. شو يعني؟ لازم نعمل تنتين، لازم نكون نعمل تنتين. لما تكون نيجاتيف شو يعني؟ يعني بس بعمل لها ملتبلاي باي نيجاتيف. تمام؟ Now negative 12 plus 12 0, and here we have negative 6m less 12 plus 12 24. Divide by negative 6 and divide here by negative 6. So m less than 24 minus 6 will be minus 4. And here we have mistake. Who can tell me what was the mistake here? Excellent. Don't forget when you divide or when you multiply by minus to switch the direction of the sign. So m greater than minus 4. M greater than minus 4. So now m has two values, less than and greater than. M less than 0 and greater than minus 4. So we can write the set of the solution, the variable m, such as m between two values, less than 0 and greater than minus 4. Then we can graph. This is 0 here in the middle. We don't have equals in the sign, so use open circle, and m less than, so the direction to the negative side. And here we have negative 4. Also use open circle, and m greater than means the direction of the positive side. And this is the area of the solution. Who has any question about this idea? So always remember, when you have absolute value inside the inequality, we have two cases. We can discuss the value inside the absolute value will be non-negative and negative. Will be non-negative, we can solve the inequality and find the solution, and will be negative, we can find the inequality and find the solution. Okay? Now, absolute value inequalities less than with no solutions. With no solutions. Listen please. Solve absolute value of n minus 1 less than minus 5. Then graph the solutions. Because the absolute value of n minus 1 is an absolute value expression, it cannot be negative. So it is not possible for absolute value of n minus 1 to be less than minus 5. So therefore, there is no solution. And the solution set is the empty set. Will be use this sign 5. When you see this sign means 5, means no solution. Means no solution. Use absolute value inequalities. Yes, Michelle.
Response that 72% of users lack the changes. The margin of error is put at 1.8%, which means that the responsibility of 73, the actual percentage can be instead of all with 1.8%.
Thank you, Michelle. So complete the table to write an inequality that represents the percent of users who like the changes. And we have words from the task, the previous task here. We have the difference between the actual percent and 72% is less than or equal to 1.8%. We can represent variable. Let x be the actual percent of users who like the changes. Then we can write the inequality. What is the meaning of the difference? It means minus between the two values. X, the actual percent, and 72% between the absolute value, less than or equal 1.8. 1.8. Then solve each cases of the inequality. The first case, if we have the inside of the absolute value non-negative, so means write the same value. X minus 20 minus 72 is non-negative, means x minus 72 less than or equal 1.8. Then you can solve this inequality. We will get here x less than or equal 73.8. Or case 2, x minus 72 is negative. Negative means take the negative value, you can multiply this value by minus, then we can use distributive property here, minus x, minus times minus positive 72, less than or equal 1.8. Then we can solve this inequality, we will get minus x less than or equal minus 70.2. Then divide here by minus, divide here by minus, and switch the direction of the sign. So x greater than or equal 70.2. So the percent of users who favor the changes Jonas made to his software is between 70.2% and 73.8%. Between this value and between this value. So the solution set is x has two values, x less than or equal 73.8 and greater than or equal 70.2 using the variable x. This solution set is a small interval of possible values close to the person that Jones found. So the solution set seems principle of a situation. Now we want to learn solving inequalities involving greater than an absolute value. For a real number a, the inequality absolute value x greater than a, absolute value x greater than a. So means that the distance between x and a is greater than a. Means the distance will be greater than a. So, when solving absolute value inequalities, there are two cases to consider. The first case, or case 1, the expression inside the absolute value symbol is non-negative. The same previous idea. If x non-negative, the absolute value of x equal x means take the same value, will be x greater than a. Will be x greater than a. The second case, the expression inside the absolute value symbol is negative. If x is negative, means absolute value of x will be negative x, and we can write negative x greater than a. Then we can divide by -1 to remove negative from here, and we can switch the direction of the sign because we divided by negative number. Will be x less than -a. So the solution set is the union of the solution. Means here we can use or because we have union to these two cases. So x greater than a or x less than -a. The solution set is x such as x less than -a or x greater than a. Example, solve absolute value inequalities using greater than. For example, solve the absolute value of 2m minus 9 greater than 13. Then graph the solution set. So, rewrite absolute value 2m minus 9 greater than 13 for case 1 and case 2. Case 1, if 2m minus 9 is non-negative, means write the same value, 2m minus 9. So we can write here 2m minus 9 greater than 13. Then we can solve this inequality. We can add 9 here and add 9 here, will be 2m greater than 22. Then divide by 2 here. Divide by 2 here will be m greater than 11. This is the first case. And the second case, if 2m minus 9 is negative, so means the absolute value of 2m minus 9 will be negative times between parentheses 2m minus 9. So we can write the inequality negative 2m minus 9 greater than 13. Then we can distribute. Minus times 2m will be negative 2m, and minus times negative 9 will be positive 9 greater than 13. Then we can subtract 9 from the two sides. We will get minus 2m greater than 4. Then we can divide the two sides by negative 2. Will be m, and switch here the sign, and here will be negative 2. So we have the first solution, or the first case, m greater than 11 or m less than negative 2. So the solution set is m such as m greater than 11 or m less than negative 2. Then we can graph. As you see, we use the open circle because we don't have equals in the sign, or the values not include in the set of solution. So m greater than 11 represent 11, open circle the direction to the positive side, and m less than negative 2 open circle in the negative 2, then m less than means the direction to the negative side. For example, We have absolute value of 4m minus 20 greater than or equal 12. So to solve this inequality, when you see absolute value, discuss two cases. The first case, if the value inside absolute value is non-negative, means write the same value, 4m minus 20 greater than or equal 12. Then solve it. Plus 20 here, plus 20 here. Here 0, it means here 4m greater than or equal 12 plus 20 will be 32. Then divide here by 4, divide here by 4. Then m less than or equal 32 divided by 4 will be 8. Then the second case, if the value inside the absolute value will be negative, means multiply this value by negative. Use the distributive property here. Minus times 4m will be minus 4m. Minus times minus 20 will be positive 20. Greater than or equal 12. Then we can remove the 20 from here, minus 20 here, minus 20 here. Here will be 0, and here minus 4m greater than or equal. Now 12 minus 20 will be minus 8. Then you can divide the two sides by negative 4. Minus 4m divided by minus 4 will be m, and switch the direction of the sign. And minus 4 divided by minus 8 divided by minus 4 will be 2. So, as you see, this is the first solution, m greater than or equal 8, and the second solution here, m less than or equal 2. Means we have here m between two values, less than or equal and greater than or equal. So here we can use or. The set of the solution, we have m such as m less than or equal to or m greater than or equal 8. Then we can draw the solution. We have this is 2. And this is 8. We have equal in the sign, so use shaded circle here and shaded circle here. Here m less than means the direction to the negative side, and here m greater than means the direction to the positive side. Who has any question about this idea? Is it clear for all? Okay, great. Now, absolute value inequalities using greater than with overlapping case solutions. Suppose we have this inequality, solve absolute value of n minus 6 greater than or equal minus 5. then graph the solution set. Rewrite absolute value of n minus 6 less than or equal minus 5 for case 1 and case 2. Case 1, suppose this value non-negative, so write the same value, the value n minus 6 greater than or equal minus 5. Then solve this inequality will be n greater than or equal 1. The second case will be the negative, so multiply by negative. Distribute the negative, n minus n times n minus n, and n times minus 6 will be plus 6, greater than or equal minus 5. Then you can solve, will be negative n will be greater than negative 11, divide by minus 1, divide by minus 1, and switch the sign, so n less than or equal 11. So as you see here, we have two solutions, n greater than or equal 1 or n less than or equal 11. So the solution set here, n such as n greater than or equal 1 or n less than or equal 11, which is equivalent to n such as n is a real number, And this is the graph. We can take the all solution here. We can take the all solution. So this is our lesson for today. Was any question about this? No questions? This is the homework for today. Extra practice, solving absolute value inequalities. The first question, solve each inequality, then graph the solution set. Right. We have the first example. I want to, from all, to write this example in your notebook, then try to solve it. Then show me your work. Show me your work. Send your work in the message in the Teams. Start, please. You have 5 minutes. Discuss two cases, non-negative and negative. If we have non-negative, write the same value, y minus 5 less than 6, then solve the inequality. And we have, if you have negative, multiply this value by negative, then write the inequality, then solve it. Then write the set of the solution, then graph the inequality. Continue now, take the second case, multiply by negative. Hmm? By negative. يعني negative times y will be negative y, negative times minus 5 will be negative 5, positive 5. Less than 6. Okay. Okay, check with me now. The first case, take the same value, means non-negative. Y minus 5 less than 6. Solve this inequality. We can remove here plus 5 plus 5. So y less than 11. The second case, if the value here will be negative, means multiply by negative. Multiply this value by negative. Minus times y will be minus y. Minus times minus will be positive. Less than 6. Then we can remove 5. So add here minus 5 here, minus 5 here. So minus y less than 1. Divide by minus here, divide by minus here. So y, switch here the sign, and here negative 1. So the set of the solution, we have y such as y less than 11 or y greater than minus 1. Then we can graph. We have here 0, here 11, open circle, and y less than 11 to the negative side. And here we have minus 1. Open circle, and y greater than تيمز على تيمز مثل العادة. إذا راح أرسل لكم إياها أنا كواجب. أنا حليت لكم رقم 1، أنتم تبلشوا من عند 2. تبلشوا حل من عند 2. أقل شيء من حل 5 تمارين، على الأقل 5 تمارين. اللي حابب يحل أكثر معلش، بس أقل شيء 5. تحت ال5 لن تقبل. وأتمنى من الجميع يرسل الواجب حتى لا نقسم علامات. So this is our period for today. Thank you for your listening. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.